Manchester derby ends in a goalless draw. Chelsea finally end their unbeaten run. Barca and Real Madrid win. Arsenal are now a relegation side. I am Kolade and welcome to another episode of Naija Football Talk. It was a very strange weekend and we have a lot packed for you in this episode.
Well, I still think the Premier League title race is between Chelsea, Tottenham and Liverpool and possibly City as well. But Arsenal need to jazz up because they're relegation contenders. Very soon they'll find themselves struggling with Fulham for points, and man, that's not good. As a fellow London side, I think you guys should step up or else you'll be relegated. And Aubameyang, come on man, you're more than that. Come on. You can't be competing with the likes of Lewis Dunk for own goals in Premier League. That's too much, man. Y'all will be relegated. Don't do this. I would love to see it, but
I think this season is alright so far. It makes sense. The title race isn't going to be a 2-horse race. That's what I think. I think it's going to be more like a 4 to 5 horseman race with everybody contending not too far from each other. But yeah, it's going to be disappointing that Arsenal are not going to even contend for Europe though. Arteta is my guy, but bro, if I see Willian in the match again, if I see Willian in our starting lineup, I'm going to customize Tottenham jersey and wear it on our next derby. Because I don't even understand what's going on again. Why Aubameyang go they score our only goal of December in our net? I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. See title race with Chelsea and God, imagine say Chelsea fans they banter me.
Alright guys, welcome to another beautiful episode of Naija Football Talk. Once again, I am Kolade and with me in the studio we have Skilachi and Bolu. Nice to have you guys once again. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was a good weekend, but not football-wise. It was just a good weekend, personally.
My weekend was okay.
Yeah, sure it was okay. Yeah, sure.
I'm not surprised about the weekend, but I'm okay.
Okay. Let's move on to the football side of things. Everton defeated Chelsea at Goodison Park and they ended their 17-game unbeaten run. I mean, we saw Chelsea all this while, like they've been blowing away all their opponents, but finally it came to an end. Carlo Ancelotti was too good for Frank Lampard, and I don't know, it makes the title race a pretty bit, unpredictable right now. Bolo, as a Chelsea fan, what do you have to say about that loss?
It was a disappointing performance, but I wasn't too surprised by the performance.
What do you mean you were not surprised?
Before the game, I knew that we would struggle with creativity.
Come on, you same way, Bolu way.
Hold on, you asked me a question.
I will go.
Based on the fact that there was no winger in the team, I knew that we're going to struggle to create chances because we create our chances from wide areas. And Rich James was alone in that regard, trying to create, and nothing could come of it. And Kai Havertz couldn't give us the width and the creativity.
Sorry. Are you blaming?
I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying that we couldn't get our creativity from the wide areas, and Kai is not a natural winger.
Losing because Kai Havertz.
This same Chelsea fan, if you guys remember, this same Chelsea fan saying, "Oh, Ziyech goes off. We bring in Pulisic. We have depth everywhere." Now they lost. They are saying because we don't have chances. Just say they were better than you. Just say they were better than you.
Well, of course they were better on the day, but we were not at our regular self because we lacked wingers, which is an important aspect of our game.
Okay, so you're tipping your side to get back to winning ways next time now?
Yes.
Okay, so let's move on to another.
That's how we do every weekend. We don't just do it once a weekend, once in a while, once a month.
So moving on to the Manchester derby, which was pretty unexpected. I mean, of every scoreline you could expect, 2-2, 3-3, 1-1, not the 0-0 scoreline. Manchester derby. I mean, this was not
zero.
I think this is
not an entertaining 0-0.
A very boring 0.
I think the stats showed that there was only one shot on target from both sides in a match.
Yeah, in the second half.
One of the wackest matches.
In the second half, nobody made a shot on target.
Wow. So
what were they doing?
I don't know. It was.
I mean,
if you watch after
was at the wheel.
It's still at the wheel. He said this was their best derby performance.
His best.
He said this is his best derby performance.
I heard that and I was like, wow. Did you just say that?
And what was the idea of? I saw players shaking a lot, like the rivalry over the years. They've died down. I saw Stones and Maguire hugging each other.
Evidently because of the level of mediocrity that has crept into Manchester United. Under Fergie, I'm 100% sure they will try to take 3 points, not being friendly with the people that you drop points to. Can you imagine?
Well,
and the captain was hugging John Stones. Like, hey bro,
we're both shitty defenders and we didn't lose.
Shitty recognizes fellow shitty. No shit. Okay, so let's move on to talking about dropping points. It seemed to be a recurring theme over the weekend. Moving on to Tottenham, they did the same as well. You know, Tottenham played 1-1 draw with Crystal Palace. If you watch that game, you can say that Crystal Palace were arguably the better side in the second half, especially, and they could have gotten something from that game, and I say it was a fair result. But what do you think about that game?
Crystal Palace really pressed Tottenham towards the end of the game, sir. They could have easily.
And it was a very nice outing from.
In favor for Jose Mourinho.
Nice game for Meberechi as well. He was very.
He's coming into his own now. It's nice to see.
So moving on to this part that I wish we didn't have to talk about, but we must talk about it. We cannot run from it.
Yeah, Gunners, yeah.
Arsenal is no longer new. Arsenal lost again. This time to Burnley. They lost to Burnley.
You were embarrassed
at the Emirates. They are fourth
in a relegation
successive defeat of the season. This is Arsenal's worst start to a season in 56 years. That means that when the last time this happened to Nigeria, we were just getting our independence. The last time we had a bad season like this. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, what do you have to say? What do you have to say about this?
Currently, the first thing I would like to establish is I'm an Arsenal sympathizer.
Yeah.
Because to be an Arsenal fan requires a lot of emotional.
We've been to it all.
And after all these years,
we've been there.
After everything that's happened,
you're still here.
After another weekend.
Just by the way, Arsenal at the moment are not a top 6 side, they're a relegation side.
No, I'm 100% sure of that.
So
Arsenal are a relegation side. I actually think that this time they are a mid-table side. Like, to be fair, because
that's pushing it. They're not a mid-table side, they're a relegation side. A relegation battler.
How are we in the relegation battle?
Because I think Chelsea is just going to compete for the league. We're going to pretend like spending 200 million is alright.
I've always said from the Lampard
how does that change Arsenal from being relegation strugglers this season?
Well, the difference is somebody's going to spend 200 million and come out with nothing.
Come out with nothing. Okay, we'll hear about that at the end of the season. We'll hear about how you get to the championship.
But moving on to this Arsenal's match, it was poetic. It was poetic that Arsenal have been struggling to score goals, and their front man Aubameyang scored the own goal. The only hope for goal scored own goal. Imagine those that had Aubameyang in their FPL, they had minus.
Who still has Aubameyang in their FPL? Why are you doing that to yourself?
Alright guys, we are back and we are moving away from the Premier League, but we still have a lot to talk about. First off, we traveled to Italy and the Serie A. We saw leaders AC Milan, they suffered a scare, 2 goals down, but they came back in the second half, and it shows just how much of a fight these guys are ready to put up. Even without Zlatan, they are still showing that they are title challengers, and people are just beginning to ask questions. Do they have what it takes to actually win the Serie A this season? Bolo, what's your take on Milan?
I think so, certainly. I said it last week. This is their 4th game now without Zlatan that they've not lost. They're the only team in Europe who have not lost since lockdown so far. They were 2-0 down to Parma. Parma, who have struggled for goals this season, but they had the fortitude to actually get the goals. Çalhanoğlu hit the post 3 times between the first half and the start of the second half, but they just had it in them to keep going, kept creating chances. Theo Hernandez eventually got the 2 goals for them, and they got their 1 point. Milan they're showing that level that they haven't been able to show in the last 9 years since they won their last Serie A title, and it's impressive to see that they don't just have the tactical wise and football wise, they don't also have the talents now and tactics and everything. They have the mental fortitude to actually go all the way as well. And one thing that is favoring them is that Juve are not at their best, Atalanta are not at their best, Inter Milan have not been at their best also, so everything is all just falling into place for them.
Speaking of Juve, Juventus claimed the 3-1 win over Genoa, but they were not at their best, just like Bolu said. But the talking point was a certain Penaldo. He scored 2 goals again from the penalty spot. But I mean, at the end of the day, football is a game of results, and they got the result. But I mean, what do you have to say about Ronaldo coming up again when it matters?
I think Ronaldo is just absolutely world class. Cause
are you saying he's world class in general, or because of what happened?
Well, let me rephrase that statement. I think Penaldo is world class. Ronaldo scored over 700 goals. Yeah, but Penaldo has also been able to put in his fair share into. Imagine scoring 2 goals in the Champions League and they are against Barcelona
at the Camp Nou.
Penalties,
at the Camp Nou.
And coming again in the league and scoring
4 penalties in one.
So
that means you just can't stop him. If he does not score from open play, he will get.
Now he has over 70
really
goals in 100 games for Juve in just 2 and quarter seasons. That's good.
That's an impressive start. Ronaldo and Messi. It's difficult to see if we are ever going to see players like them. But I mean, we said the same thing about Pele and Maradona, and Messi and Ronaldo came along. So who knows how time will go on. But let's move on to La Liga. I mean, I had a very keen focus on La Liga this weekend. Barcelona claimed they won a win over Levante, and it was that guy that you expect, Lionel Messi, that scored the winning goal. I mean, if you have a player like Messi in your team, it's obvious for you to depend on this guy. But how reliant are Barca on Messi?
Totally reliant, especially without Ansu Fati. But Messi still hasn't got himself. He still hasn't found. Against Juve, for example, he wasn't at his best. The team were not at their best, but he was still trying to create chances. He was the only one that looks like creating something for them. But he still hasn't got himself. But it was a good goal for him over the weekend.
If you take Messi away from the Barca team, what would you say you need to add to their team to get better? I watched Jordi Alba, and I think this guy has been declining for a while.
Yeah.
He has been declining he's pretty bad right now.
Yeah.
But so if you were Koeman and you remove Messi from this Barca team, what will you be looking at?
Relegation strugglers.
Really? Without Messi?
Yeah.
Barca will be relegation
Even with
strugglers.
Messi right now, they are in 8th position or so. So without Messi, they would be worse off. Without Messi and Fati, to be a very bad situation.
Don't let Barca fans hear you saying that.
No, but I think that although Barcelona is extremely dependent on Messi, which any club would be
obviously
on their star player, that if they don't have Messi, if Ronald Koeman doesn't have the Messi, he can try to build his team around people like Coutinho and Fati. There are some new boys coming up. I don't know. Pedri, and he can build a new team. I also agree that Jordi Alba has been declining, and I'm sure they have a spare left back that is ready to take up the position.
If they want Kolasinac from Arsenal, if Barca wants Kolasinac from Arsenal, they are free to get him.
With free kick specialist Marcos Alonso.
Okay, so moving on to the big result from La Liga, Real Madrid claimed a 2-0 victory over Atletico Madrid. Their first loss of the season was a very big result, and
their first loss in 26 games.
From being a bad side, from Zidane being under pressure, he has recorded 2 big wins against Mönchengladbach and now against Atletico. What do you have to say about this Zidane? I took a hit on him. I said this guy is a fraud, but he delivers the most when it's needed.
That's Zidane. That's Zidane's tenure at Madrid for you. He always pulls spectacular out of nothing. When you expect him to lose his job or something, he does the world class. This last week was a very important week for them. They got 3 wins over Serie A, Gladbach and Madrid, and now everything's looking rosy for them again.
So you can say Real Madrid are back in the title race again, just 3 points off Atletico.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Madrid has ever not been in the title race. It's only about the Madrid fans always wanting to dominate every single game. True. But beyond that, they always contend, and Zidane is pure class. So that's what we always see. Like at the times when it seems like things are going to take a bad turn.
I think one thing of note too that has helped them is that they've been without fans, and that has reduced the pressure on the players, because usually when things are not going well, the fans are booing. The general Bernabeu, Santiago Bernabeu fans are notorious for that. They boo even their own
players. Alright guys, we are back on the show, and away from the domestic front, we move on to the continental scene. We just saw the UEFA Champions League group stages concluded, and now we have the results for the round of 16. Some juicy ties are with us, and we're just going to discuss some of the biggest games to expect. In the draws, we have Barcelona taking on PSG, Sevilla taking on Dortmund, Real Madrid taking on Atalanta, and for me, the biggest tie of the round, for me, is Atletico Madrid facing Chelsea. Bolu, as a Chelsea fan, what do you have to say about this game?
I'm not. You're going home. Tell the world that you're going
and on just Bolu, quick one before you start. You know, in the spirit of giving, this is December, just 12 days to Christmas. So I would just like to do something nice for all our wonderful viewers out there, especially Manchester United fans. We have a little something for you on Naija Football Talk. Just a sec.
Because we all love you.
Just, can you please just show Manchester United fans, can you see, you know, the Champions League draw, but the Champions League draw is not for you guys.
2017 winners, you're welcome back.
Wait for the Europa League. That is where you belong now. Manchester United, welcome to the Europa League. Thank you very much. That's our little.
It was nice having you for the group.
It was nice having you, but I mean, goodbye. Okay, away from all the banter and back to football action. Atletico taking on Chelsea. That is a very unpredictable game, Bolu. Quick one, what's your take on that?
It was the worst possible draw that we could have envisaged, but I still trust my team. We have another 2 months to get ready for the game. It's going to be a more than physically, tactically demanding game. It's going to take everything, all the attention, all the concentration. But I believe my boys can get it done. They can, definitely.
You guys should just forget about the match and focus on the
Premier League. Go, Simeone is going to padlock that whole. It's going to padlock the whole place. But let's move down to another interesting clash. Barcelona taking on PSG. I mean, the return of Neymar to Camp Nou, but unfortunately Neymar might just miss this game. But
why can't this guy just be fit for a blockbuster knockout game?
I see, maybe he saw it.
This is the third consecutive one he's missing. Last season he didn't miss, but he was a different scenario because they were one-off games.
But now,
Barca
PSG, would you see making it through, and why?
PSG, because I think they have more quality in their squad to go through. I think Barca would get out of the round of 16 because that's where the quality in their squad can get them through.
Okay, so
PSG, Barca,
Barcelona clearly. We all know it's Barcelona. It will be a very good game to watch. Blockbuster, awesome, but Barcelona.
There's another potentially interesting game, Leipzig taking on Liverpool. Leipzig, we all know that we can't underrate them. We saw what they did in the group stages to Manchester United, of course. They helped us to present that package, you know. So do you see them like sending Liverpool out again?
That one go very hot too, because they're a German team and Liverpool is actually a German team.
The way they play, the way they set up.
I think I'm actually going to love that match as well as the Atletico.
It's going to be a nice game to see.
It's going to be very lovely.
And elsewhere,
Liverpool.
Elsewhere, we saw Juventus, Porto, Penaldo,
Real Madrid,
Atalanta is. Atlanta are dark horses. You can't write them off. But on paper, I mean, we expect Real Madrid to just go to Sevilla.
But the most annoying, Sevilla, Dortmund. Why are those two teams facing?
Well, I think every Champions League draw has to just give
those, one of those.
One game that everyone is less interested in.
I know we forgot Man City Mönchengladbach. That's the last game.
That's another annoying draw. Why do City always get easy teams? Well, but I think that's one reason why Pep's side have not won the Champions League so far, because they keep getting these easy teams in these lesser teams in the round of 16, and then they meet a bigger team in the quarterfinal, semi-final. They get overwhelmed. If they get more difficult teams from
they
the
will know
they
what
would
to face.
they would actually be able to build that momentum and that belief going all the way, because for a team like that has never won the Champions League, that's what you actually need. You actually need that your back to be against the wall throughout the tournament to actually get that belief into your system and the luck going for you. Because when the Champions League is not just quality, it's a lot of things coming together.
Bayern, the olders taking on Lazio.
Another massacre in prospects. I'm disappointed in the draws, honestly, because why would all the teams get imbalanced draws and then just get Atleti, Barca, PSG? That's not fair.
That's what you get when you spend 200 million. That's what you get.
That's
Spending 200 million.
That's better than facing some Europa League team
No, wow.
in a round of 32.
Yeah, you know, at least somebody is more highly likely to come out with a trophy, and we know who it is not.
Oh, you would, right? Okay, fine then. Let's see about that. Let's see about that.
Yeah, so like just quick one. This still early, but who are you tipping to go all the way for the Champions League? Quick one. Just make a guess. One club.
One club. Wow, that's difficult to call right now. I would say Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich to defend their crown. Skilashi, who are you going for?
I think it will be very unfair for me to choose one club.
Just one.
It's so hard.
One. It could be anybody.
Yeah, but it can only be one winner.
One year, I was so scared for my life because Tottenham made it to the final.
Don't worry. God saved us from that disaster. God saved us all. We understand that. So
you said
Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich. I'll go for dark horses. PSG.
Okay, so let's see. Let's see how that
what do you think?
Me, if you ask me, I like to go for the unexpected ones. So I'll say Atletico. No, I'll say Atletico.
Syndrome.
I'll say Atletico. They will defeat Chelsea and they will go all the way to win.
Premier League teams in the Champions League. I was actually really excited and happy that Chelsea got drawn against Atletico Madrid because they're probably the most informed team in La Liga and one of the most informed sides in the world currently. So Simeone and his players are going to make it really difficult for them and going to give them a really tough game. I can fully see them going through and knocking Chelsea out of Europe, and that would be so mad. That would be so great because Chelsea fans deserve it. They've been way too loud. They need to be humbled. So now next, Man City. I wasn't even surprised at all when City got drawn against Madrid because they always somehow find a way to get drawn against some of the easiest sides in the competition. So that game, Madrid are a decent side, but I expect nothing less than City going through to the quarterfinals. But I know that they're not serious contenders. They're probably going to bottle it in the quarterfinal or semi-final. Then Liverpool, they have a tricky game against Leipzig, and I will know they knocked us out of the competition and down to the Europa League. But Liverpool have injury problems, but with the mentality and the quality they still have in the team, they should be able to win that game. So City and Liverpool should go through in the Champions League. Then the Europa League, we have a really tricky tie against Real Sociedad, top of La Liga, really good form. Are going to be a difficult side to beat. And when United, just not consistent enough, could really go either way that game. I just don't know the United are going to show up. If it's going to be the team that beat PSG and Leipzig, or the team that struggled to beat Crystal Palace and Arsenal. So can't be too sure with us, but with the quality we have and with Bruno Fernandes, I believe we'll go through. And for Arsenal are just an awful team. Panther FC, the laughingstock of the Premier League. Right down from the board to the manager to the players, everyone is out of their depth. They're completely awful. Terrible result after terrible results. They even look completely average against the worst sides in the league. And playing against the Benfica side, I could easily see them going out of the competition easily. They just aren't at it, and there's no team that will face Arsenal that wouldn't be confident of coming away with a win at that bad. So in this game coming up, I fully expect Benfica to go through. It's not that bad, it's just not good enough. They just have to focus on the relegation battle and just leave Europe for the big boys. So I think City, Liverpool, United and Spurs will go through. Spurs had probably the easiest draw in the two competitions. So that's what I expect to go through.
And it's a wrap for this episode. We enjoyed ourselves, we had fun in the studio, and we hope you did. Don't forget to do the 4 things as usual: like, retweet, subscribe, and give us your comments in the comment section below. Pretty quick one. If you know any Arsenal fan out there, if you have any friend that's an Arsenal fan, send them some love, send them money, send them hugs and kisses. They deserve a lot because they are going through serious physical and mental pain right now. This is Christmas season. Extend that love to Arsenal fans. Please, I know how it feels because I'm an Arsenal fan. But on a serious note, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and of course you stay tuned and expect more same time next week. Once again, I'm Kolade and I was your host for another beautiful episode of Naija Football Talk. Stay tuned same time next week for another wonderful packed episode. Peace out.